and I want to introduce my friend, the mayor of the city of Newark, Cory Booker.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to do a rare prepared remarks. My staff always laughs at me because I hate to read a speech, but I'm actually really pleased to be here in the South Ward, and I want to give a particular thanks to Miss Eva, who is a longtime Newark activist who has made profound changes in this community. And if we had a 2.5 tax cap for the last 5 years, she literally would have saved thousands of dollars for her family. And she is one example of the kind of homeowner, the kind of senior, even though in the kitchen she would not tell me her age. I'm going to assume she is a senior citizen because she told me she had great-grandchildren who we're here to talk about. So what we're here to talk about, at least for me, is, and as the governor reflected, is that this is an issue that's bigger than any individual party. It's issues that affect residents all over our state, in all 21 counties, and is particularly felt here in the city of Newark. We have escalating property taxes and the rising structural cost of government. They're eroding the quality of life in our state, affecting the experience of every citizen in every part of New Jersey. And I believe that this reality is disproportionately burdening our seniors living on fixed income and more people in New Jersey who, especially in this economy, are struggling to make ends meet. Our ever-increasing property taxes and uncontrollable government costs are making our state unattractive to businesses, to residents, crowding out local governments like mine's ability to meet their community's needs, and making taxpayers throw up their hands in frustration, aggravation, and a mounting cynicism about government's ability to solve problems. I hear this in Newark, all over Newark, painful stories, from the Ironbound to Vailsburg, from Forest Hills to the Weequahic section, all over the Central Ward, families who are struggling to stay in ancestral homes, to maintain their grip on their American dream, and families who are seeing their income stagnate, flatten, or decline as the cost of living continues to rise. These are issues that have haunted Newark, New Jersey, and our state for too long. In Newark, taxes have gone up 76% in the last 10 years alone. And it's important to point out that there have been good and valiant initiatives aimed at addressing these problems in the past by admirable leaders, but they have not been successful. Despite best efforts, we have not slain this beast. The moment for true reform has finally come. So please know, I believe our state has never truly advanced, if you look at the history of New Jersey, with just some of the people. I am a believer that we can only go as far as we as a state are willing to take each other. At this time of trial, challenge, and I believe unique opportunity, New Jersey cannot get caught in the trap, best evidenced by those who too often put forth almost reflexive divisiveness that undermine the unity we need to move forward. The issues before us, as the governor said in his remarks, will not be solved on the left or the right. This issue is not Republican or Democrat. It is not urban or suburban, north or south. It's not black, white, Latino, or an Asian issue. This is a New Jersey issue. This is a challenge to all of us, and it affects our common destiny as a state. And thus, to solve it, it necessitates, now more than ever, a greater degree of unity and cooperation. And so this fundamentally is an opportunity of historic proportions. I believe we stand before a powerful opportunity that, if we seize it, will resonate for generations to come. I believe the moment for true reform has finally come. I believe there is an alignment of interest around our state, and this is a time where elected leadership, from small town mayors to big city electeds, from legislative leadership to new legislative leadership to enduring longtime leaders, great leadership around the state, from our town councils to the state's new executive, we are more and more saying the same thing, and especially the public at large. There's not a speech I give around the city of Newark, there's not communities I talk to, that the issue more and more of affordability is coming up. And therefore, we cannot allow this moment, this historic alignment, to pass. We cannot afford to allow our state's residents down. I and Chris Christie have had a relationship for a long time. When I became mayor, he and I stood up and worked together to create some of the most historic declines in crime that we had. We didn't stop and talk about who he was appointed by or what our parties were. We got down immediately in the days before I took office, almost exactly 4 years ago, in the days before I was sworn in, to talk about aggressive plans to come together and make a difference. Chris Christie, because of him, helped us bring the FBI, the DEA, ICE, and other people around a table where there used to not be trust to actually thrust forward and do some significant things that are helping us get double-digit percentage shooting reductions in our city. And so I believe central to this debate actually is Governor Chris Christie. Central to all that we're talking about is him. He's our governor, but as I like to call him more recently, he is the provocateur and chief in the state of New Jersey. No one can accuse this man of being timid. And I believe more than ever he has demonstrated guts and focus on an issue that all of New Jersey is interested in. I believe that because of his leadership, we are in a great position of knowing that it's no longer a question of whether we are going to achieve property tax reform. It's merely of how and how endurable and indelible that reform will ultimately be. We can see clearly that legislative leadership, as he and I were talking up in the kitchen in Trenton, is moving as well, including State Senate President Sweeney and Assemblywoman Speaker Sheila Oliver. They agree, in the conversations I've had with them, with the severity of the problem and the necessity of a strong solution, and I am deeply grateful that they are stepping up. While there may be differences in the details, we have arrived at a rare moment of burgeoning consensus in New Jersey, and I will not be silent during this moment. Elected leadership, and specifically our new leaders in Trenton, I believe are poised to deal with this problem, and I want to make sure that everyone understands where I stand on this issue. And it's important to me that we begin to show that with demonstrated unity like today. And so I stand here with the governor to endorse two of what I believe are essential elements of tax reform to achieve a new day of New Jersey government. I believe, and this is often getting lost in the coverage, that essential is the governor's toolkit to hold down the ever-growing costs of government. The toolkit is critical, and that we also should have hand in hand, one without the other will not achieve our goals, but that we also should have a hard cap of 2.5%. And we must have both a toolkit and a cap. Again, we must simultaneously eliminate the upward pressure that spikes municipal costs, and trust me, I'm wrestling with those pressures every single day, and we must have the downward pressure of a cap to keep taxes there and stimulate what I call the moral creativity that's essential for change. One, again, cannot be effective without the other. I want to emphasize the toolkit: arbitration reform, pension reform, personnel reforms, shared service reforms. These things are essential for us in local government to begin to rein in costs and be able to abide by a 2.5% cap. Combined with the imperative provided by the cap, the toolkit will bring about, as I said, the needed moral creativity and the capacity, importantly, at the municipal level to begin doing those things we all know we need to do. Everyone talks about shared services, but the imperative and the urgency has been lacking. We need a cap to give that urgency and produce creative partnerships amongst governments, amongst nonprofits and government, public-private partnerships, and philanthropic innovations, like we have been showing are possible here in the city of Newark. Already, as Miss Eva was reminding me in the kitchen, it's those kind of public and private partnerships that are helping to restrain healthcare costs right now in the city of Newark.